So one thing that becomes obvious is that credit is becoming more and more relevant, not just as an industry, but also for you as a business. I'm not saying buyouts are less relevant now, but it's definitely not a growth story anymore. So, I mean, you've been in that industry for quite some time. What do you feel is like the main change over the last 2 decades?
Well, there's two massive drivers. I mean, post '08, you had a few massive trends going on. You had massive amount of re-regulation. You had the deleveraging of bank balance sheets, and you had massive quantitative easing. We built our credit platform as a firm based on the view of very, very low rates continuing on for a long period of time. That was the assumption, lower for longer. So we've paid $8 billion for these 16 platforms, the 4,000 people that are out every single day sourcing opportunities for us, which is very different than private equity. Private equity, it's obviously a more intense. You're making a handful of decisions a year, and you want your best and your brightest. And lots of part of our credit business is about the platform. So the two big changes which have occurred is the rise in absolute rates. We never expected credit to have these types of returns that it does right now. The idea that you can make 10 to 12% top of the capital structure, that was not part of our business plan. And the second is the continuing evolution of the role of banks and how they finance day-to-day businesses. You know, in the U.S. today, banks are about 35% of the lending market. In Europe, it's around 70%. In Asia, it's the low 90s. And there's more and more push. Look what SocGen announced with their JV last week. Look what's going on with Santander yesterday. I mean, certainly, I think there has been a big push on, you know, return of shareholder value and ROE that's going to spur a lot of these activities that were embedded in the banking system, that will be activities that everybody in this audience participates in to a much greater degree. So those are the two, you know, the absolute rise in real rates and the continuing evolution of the role of banks in terms of how they participate in the global provision of credit.